Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back. This week I wanted to do a video on Mary and Martha, or Martha and Mary. And I really like this, and I think this is a story from Luke that really hits me different lately in life, and because I can totally feel what Martha's going through here, and I think a lot of people can, and I think that looking at this story is huge. So we're going to Luke 10:38. Sorry, I got my verses up over here. So let's just read this. I think if you've heard this before, it is Jesus going to Martha's house, and Martha is really busy getting stuff ready for the supper, and Mary is there listening to Jesus and not helping serve, and obviously that doesn't make Martha very happy, but yeah, let's read this. So we're Luke 10:38 through 42, through the end of the chapter there. Now it came to pass that as they went, they entered into a certain village, and a certain woman named Martha received him into her house. So Martha had Jesus at her house. Okay, already pretty freaking awesome that Jesus was visiting this woman at her house. That for Martha, like, she had Jesus at his house, and just to appreciate what Martha's going through, can you imagine that? Can you imagine Jesus is coming to your house for dinner? How would that be? Yeah, absolutely. If Jesus was coming to our house, we probably shouldn't stress. We should just be like, "Oh, that's fantastic! I'm gonna grab some food or whatever." Like, whatever you do, whatever that widow's mite is of effort that you can put forth is going to be enough for Jesus. I feel like. However, I feel like most of us, when Jesus is coming over to the house, probably with some disciples or whatever, I don't know how many people came, but I think that's like high alert. Like, you're going to clean the house. You're going to, I don't know, you're going to get some yummy food. You're going to really bring your A game for dinner tonight. And that dinner is probably going to be a lot of work. And you're going to work hard to get things ready. And I know on like Thanksgiving, if you're making dinner and stuff, you have a little timetable, do this there, here at this time, this time, this time, this time. And as the dinner gets closer, like, there's more things to do and it gets all hectic. And there's a time frame to get everything ready. I can picture Martha. She's got her, I don't know what they wrote on back then. She's got a little scroll with her little timeline and her sundial, and however they did it back then, of like, okay, I need to put the lamb on the roast and the seasoning and the whatever, and get the wine at this time. And I can't even imagine. And obviously I'm looking at this 2,000 years later, and I don't know what I would do. But Martha sounds like she was definitely doing her best, and she was having Jesus at her house. Awesome. Huge W for Martha. She had a sister called Mary, which also sat at Jesus' feet and heard his words. My guess is Martha and Mary had been working together during the day to get things ready for dinner. Now Jesus is there. Jesus is speaking, and Mary is spending time listening to what Jesus says. Also very good. So, yeah. So Martha's busy making those final preparations for dinner. She's probably been working on all day long. She's got the finishing touches, putting the dishes out or whatever. Yeah. And I think that's, if you're having someone over for dinner, those are things you need to do. Continuing 40, but Martha was cumbered about much serving, and came to him and said, "Lord, Martha's busy. Mary wasn't helping. She was doing this all on her own. Since Mary's not helping, like, she's probably doing like double the work. She's doing all the stuff she had planned, plus she's doing Mary's stuff because Mary's not helping anymore." Like, I can just feel how hectic it is. And she said, "Lord, dost thou not care that that my sister hath left me to serve alone? Bid her therefore that she help me." So Martha's saying, hey, Jesus, don't you care that Mary's not helping? She's just sitting here listening and I'm doing all the work. Like, this isn't fair. What's up? And Jesus answered and said unto her, Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. I love that. Martha, Martha, I can feel the love. I can feel Jesus's compassion for Martha. Martha, Martha, thou art careful and troubled about many things. I don't think from that phrase, it doesn't seem like preparing dinner was the only thing that Martha had on her mind. She's probably troubled about lots of other things. And perhaps that was something that Martha lives with normally in her life, that she's often troubled with many things. And thou art careful and troubled about many things. So maybe we got a little perfectionist in here. She's trying to make everything perfect. And she's really troubled. Like, her soul is troubled. She is amazing. She's got Jesus at her house and she's doing everything to prepare to make this a nice experience for Jesus. And she's almost so troubled and working hard to make this a wonderful event for him that she might be looking past the importance there. She's not spending time with Jesus, she's looking to make it an excellent time for Jesus without spending time with him, which I can see that also. Jesus continues, but one thing is needful, and Mary hath chosen the good part, that good part, which shall not be taken away from her. So Jesus isn't condemning Martha or Mary. She's just saying Mary hath chosen the good part. And it makes me really think, like, I think Martha was doing good. It sounds like Mary had chosen better. And I think so many times in my life gets crazy. And just like, I think just a couple days ago, got up at like 5:30 a.m. to start running around, getting kids places, work, doctor visits, getting dinner ready, lunch ready, all this stuff. And, after dinner, I go to the second job. If there's downtime at the second job, I work on my third job. Ended up getting home at like 12:30. And then you bounce up the next morning and get up early again. And it's just, sometimes life is just mayhem. And I think a lot of stuff we do in life is good. Having a job, preparing meals, providing for our families, like this is all very, very good things. This is all things we need to do. We need to take care of our children. We need to take care of our families. We need to do these things. Very important. And I think sometimes for me, especially, that's why I want to do this video. I think this is a me problem here, is that I feel like sometimes I'm Martha. Sometimes I'm not Mary. Okay. I think most of the time I'm Martha and not Mary. And I think that Jesus is open to coming into our lives. Martha had Jesus in her house. We can have Jesus in our house. We can have Jesus in our lives. Are we making time to listen to Jesus, or are we careful and troubled about many things? I think for me, I am usually careful and troubled about many things. And I think that those things are important. And I think that you do have to put food on the table. I think that you do have to provide and protect. I think you do have to do these things for your family. These are very important things. I think also we need to make time for Jesus. We need to be careful and troubled about making time for Jesus in that day. And I don't think keeping Jesus in the front of our minds takes a lot of time. A prayer for a minute or two, great. If you can go longer, talk to him longer, that's fantastic. But if you can break out the good book and read some of these stories about Jesus, like, how long does that take? Minutes? Definitely not very long. And I know there's a lot of days that I don't make time for that like I should, and uh, I need to. Um, but I love the story of Martha and Mary. I love Jesus's example. He didn't condemn either one, but he also said, you know what? Mary's making time for Jesus. She's doing the good part. Um, and I love it. I love it. And I think so many times we get careful and troubled about many things. And it's so easy to say. I think about that day the other day. It'd be so easy for me to say, like, what if I had died in my sleep last night and gone up to heaven, and I saw Jesus, and I thought back on that day. I thought, I was too busy. Sorry, Jesus. I was too busy to read about you or study about you or ponder about you or pray. Yeah, sorry, man. I just had so much going on down there. I think that I think it would really put it in perspective that we have time for Jesus. We can make time for Jesus. I heard somewhere, are you so busy doing things for Jesus that you stop spending time with him? Are you so busy doing things for Jesus that you stop spending time with him? Um, and I think a lot of times I am, but I think that the important thing that I have learned, when I put Jesus first, everything else works out. When I bust out the Bible and I read these stories, time works out. If I don't have time for prayer and I pray, and I still pray, even if I don't have time, I don't feel like I have time and I'm so rushed, and I still take a moment to pray, things work out. I don't know how, but they do. I feel like sometimes the clock stops while I'm catching up on things, and I can get so much done so quickly. And I think that the blessings from doing what Mary did and listening to Jesus and following Jesus and making time for Jesus and choosing that good part, I think we are abundantly rewarded with being able to take care of the careful and trouble things that we have in our lives. That is a huge leap of faith, because in the moment I'm like, this is urgent. I have to do this. I have to do this. I have to do this. If we take that moment, pray, spend some time with Jesus every day, he makes the rest work out. It's amazing.